Hello, good evening, welcome to Easy 8's Online Painting Club. My name's Danny, and for the next 2 hours I'm going to be hopefully putting some paint on some miniatures and getting rid of my hordes of grey plastic that is unpainted all these years. I've got a nice little box of treats to show you through today. I hope you've been well. I've had a traumatic week. I can see that we've got quite a few people waiting in the live chat already. We've got staff, we've got Overlord Games, we've got Adrian, Jeff, Table of Horrors and Dave Lester. Hi guys, thanks for coming along. I was actually about a minute late just because of the injuries that I've received this week and the fact that my partner was out and I was out and we just had dinner and I ran up here and I just made myself a fresh brew. But it's all good, man. I'm here. As I can see Overlord Games. Come on, Danny. I just advertised you as live. I'm live, man. I'm here, and I'll make up the time. It was about 30 seconds. It was 30 seconds. Anyway, if you're new here, please do consider subscribing to the channel. Every subscription takes us that one step further to 1,000, which is, of course, like super duper. Where I can make money and live off the healthy profits of this club. That's not what it's about at all. It's about creating a community, like-minded people who want to do some cool stuff in their hobby and do it live with some other people because it's better with other people, right? That's what it's all about. So please, yeah, do subscribe. It would make my day. You can thumbs up the video, you can make comments and stuff down there, and every little interaction you have with this video and all the other videos helps the algorithm get Easy 8 out there to everybody else in the whole wide world. All hail the algorithm. So if you do like what we do, please do any one of those things and shout about it with some people at work, at home, at school, do whatever. Table of Horror says, how is everyone? What happened to you this week, Danny? I'll tell you all about it in just a second. If you want to catch us on Facebook, we're over there as well. You can also see us on Instagram, and at the end of the show, I will be on the Easy 8 After Party on Discord. Links to all those platforms is just down there, so please go and have a little look. There's also loads of links and stuff to loads of people who I like. Overlord Games, Purple Line Creations, Blightforge Miniatures, Creation, Blightforge Studios, got there in the end. Out of This World, Models and Minis. Go and check out all these guys, and there's loads more down there as well. They're just cool people who do cool stuff, and they're just really nice, and they deserve your love and attention. So go and check them out, because they're really, really cool. You never know, you might find something there you like. Yeah, I hope you guys have been well this week. I hope you've got some projects this evening. Come and tell us all about it, and I'll show you what it is that I'm going to be doing today. If you remember, the last couple of weeks, I've been painting this little king tiger, but I put a little pause on him last week because the colours that I was using on him weren't working, and the camouflage green specifically was really, really pale in comparison to all the other colours. I know now, after a little bit of research, and I still could be really, really wrong, but from what I can work out, my yellow that I paint here with a modulation set, I make it go darker because I like that look. I like it. I like the dark, gritty look that German tanks have from World War II. Because everything else is darker, the green doesn't really stand out against the yellow on there, and it's really tricky to see, and it ruins the aesthetic that could be possible. So I took it upon myself to go hunting for some greens, and I'll go more in depth in a minute. But I found one, so I'm going to have a really good crack at that tonight. Hopefully, this is the colour that will take me forwards, and I can mix this with the other colours that I've been using to kind of help, get to the end product. It's a stellar model, absolutely love it, and it's a really nice tank as well, and I'm really looking forward to finishing it off. I've also got a couple of other paints here, more on those a little bit. I've got a big bucket of Churchills, which we're going to go over in a minute, and I also bought a new detail brush. Ooh! So yeah, those are some exciting things that I have got this week on the show. If this doesn't work today, like this colour green isn't the right thing for me to do, these new paints here are replacements for the acrylics that I was using last week when I was trying to do my glow effects. I learned that trying to spray thin glazes of colours that are acrylic paints, they don't have the transparency to kind of let the light or the bright white colours behind it kind of show through and kind of give that effect of glow. So I've got some transparent inks, and they are lush. So yeah, we'll have a good play with those. I've got a bit of a croak. Have you noticed that? Sorry, I'm so sorry. It's been a trying week. I'm fairly certain I've said that every week now for the past few weeks. It's been a trying week. I've just Danny damage this week. I've been through the wars. I feel like I've been dragged through a hedge. Let's have a little look at the live chat and see who we've got in here today. Saying what? Lots of people saying good evening. Good evening, everybody. I hope you're having a lovely time. Do you know what? The weekend is here. Cheers. Happy weekend. That tastes of burning. It's just come out the kettle. Jeff says 165 subs, 35 away from letting the cats in on air. You're absolutely right. It was actually 166 just before the show. It went down. It's not for everybody, and that's absolutely fine. But for those of you that are new, for those of you that do like the show, thanks for being a part of it all. It really makes my week. Thank you very much. Yeah, is Danny late again? Like, not really. You're just really early. You're always in there. If I like turn on the software, like you're always in there like 10 minutes before the show's due to start. So yeah, thanks for being early. No painting for me, says Overlord Game Store. I got the 6-month-old on the knee. Hashtag family show. That's lovely. I would push the little heart button, but it doesn't let me do it. It's just in the way of the text. So someone else can spam that button. That's Dave's job. He loves that button. You go for it. You'll see it happen in a second. Table Horror says, Blood Angel Legion Praetor in Mark IV armor for me. Do you know what? I really do like the Mark IV armor. It is really cool. I like the Mark VII helmet. I think that's kind of iconic, right? But the armor, I just really like that. It's really cool. And I think actually the the actual style of the armor, Mark IV, I think is really reminiscent, or was like a reference point, if you like, for the new Primaris models, because especially if you look at the helmets, the designs are really quite similar. And I wonder that if there it is, I can see those hearts going crazy. I wonder that if a part of their design concept for making the new Space Marines was drawn on sort of enthusiasm for the older styles of armor, etc. You know what I'm trying to say. You know, using the success of the past to make the good stuff in the future. Anyway, I'd love to know what it is you're working on this evening. So like a few of them have already said, if you're working on something this evening, do let me know. If you're just here along for the chit-chat and the company, let us know. I love interacting with you guys. That's what the show is all about. I'm going to take you over to the workbench. Here we go. So, clear a little space here. Here is the green paint that I'm hoping that is going to be a winner today. This is Vallejo Model Air. Olive green. Yeah. I don't know if this is a German olive green. There are so many different types all over the place. It could be for Ally stuff, it could be for German stuff, but it was the closest to a lot of the reference material that I could find. There was dark German camo, and it was just a little bit too dark, and I didn't want to go too far the other way. So I got this one. I searched everywhere. We went to the Plymouth War Game Show. We had a great time down there. Me and a load of guys in the live chat there all went there, and they had like such a wide selection of Vallejo paints, and I could see all the colours there that I wanted. But they were all for brush and not for airbrush, and I wanted to use the airbrush. So armed with that knowledge, I didn't buy anything there, but I went then researching on the internet and on Amazon, and I was able to find this one. So hopefully this will be the paint that will get us through that project. Wicked. Wonderful. Here are the inks that I was talking about. So, these Liquitex. I really like Liquitex. There are two main brands out there for inks. Daler-Rowney or Darla-Rowney. I like to call them Daler-Rowney. Whatever is correct, I don't know. And Liquitex. They seem to be the preeminent manufacturers out there for acrylic inks. Good quality acrylic inks. And I just like these ones. I did a lot of research on them, and I can't really find anything that wins over on one or the other. Just a few more professionals out there said that they prefer the Liquitex ones, but the other ones are still very good. So whatever suits you, really. They're not the cheapest things in the world, but I can't see you ever going through these a lot once you learn a little bit of control and how to mix up your paints and whatever. I've already got this one. This is the white ink that I was using last week to create the glowy backgrounds and the brightness of it all. This is an opaque colour, and that is absolutely fine. In fact, that is absolutely what I want. I want it to be really, really runny, like an ink. That's the quality that I'm looking for. So it runs into all the creases, a bit like a watered-down wash, but it's an ink, so it's really thick or really full of, or has a high pigment count rather. So it really shows its colour, its brightness. It doesn't lose that when it's kind of watered down. It does need to be watered down a little bit, but not that much. So that's really cool. These ones are transparent, as where the white is an opaque one. They have like different factors. and they are measured or gauged on their transparency. You'll have opaque, transparent, and one in the middle which is semi-transparent. And these are both transparent, which is the quality that I was missing last week when I was trying to spray the colours, which were similar to these ones here. When I was trying to spray them onto the white, they were just covering the white up and it wasn't working. It got close, but it still looks ugly. So I'm hoping that these mixed down a little bit with some flow improver or thinner as well will help the bright white colour shine through. So if the camo colour doesn't work today, I can move back onto this project, and later on I can still come back and have another go at this. That's what I want. Yay. I also got a really nice new brush. I haven't even taken this out of the little tube yet. It came just the other day from Hobby Heaven. Thanks, Hobby Heaven. I've got it through Amazon, but through Hobby Heaven. And basically, it's another Kolinsky brush. So it's another high quality sable brush. I've got the size 1, I've got a size 2 and a size 0. But even the size 0 wasn't small enough for some of the things I wanted to do. Here's a size 0 for some comparison. This here is a 3-0. So it's not just one, it's basically minus numbers, if that makes sense. And the idea is just to have something with a little bit more control when I'm trying to do things like working on plasma coils and things like that on the more sci-fi things. I don't want to go in with a loaded big brush because I'm just going to dump too much stuff down on it. So yeah, I don't know what I've done with it. Where's it gone? Just rolled away. Here it is. So this is a 3-0. They actually go down to an incredibly small size. I think 7-0 or 5-0. So they go down quite a bit smaller than that. At my level, I don't really need anything smaller than that. I'm not that good. So yeah, 3-0. I've been after one of these for a little while. I didn't know whether to get a 2-0, 3 or a 4. Yeah, I like Raphael Kolinsky. Windsor and Luton is another brand out there that I know quite a few of you guys in the live chat like to use as well. I think it's just brand preference at that point because they're both really, really well established brands. Anyway, excited to give that a go as well at some point. And I've got a tube. Love a tube. Oh, I just popped that over there because I'm a hoarder. So, we went to the Plymouth War Games show last weekend. A nice little easy outing. We had a great time. Thank you, Stafford, for driving us. It was really, really kind. We did a lot of stuff on the road, and it was a lot of time on the road, and it was really, really just nice to be with everyone. Of course, we made a beeline straight for the other end of the hall when we got in there, and went straight over to the Bring and Buy, where someone found me some Churchills in 15mm. I've been after these for ages. I only wanted a couple because I play What a Tanker. As I get into Flames of War, perhaps I'll buy more and more, but I wanted Churchills for a while because they're an iconic British tank, and I wanted something that was different from the Sherman. I know we had Shermans, but I wanted something else. Anyway, yeah, found 2 of them on their sprues for £10. No, barely any parts missing. We'll get more into that in a second. Absolutely love them. Anyway, the other day, we didn't have a games night like we normally do on a Wednesday, and Dave, who's in the live chat now, came over to my house. So we sat down and had a chit chat, and I pulled these out to kind of play around with them, and I realised that I've got 2 sprues, but I've got 3 models. There's another one in here, and here's the really cool thing about it. On the sprues, you can make 2 turrets, so you can have a standard Churchill, or take that away, I can have the crocodile. Now, crocodiles aren't in What a Tanker. They are in Flames of War, I believe, but it's just nice to have them. And even better, just like the one at Bovington Tank Museum, it's got the flamethrower fuel tank on the back of it. All 3 of them have all of these components, and the only thing that is missing on this pre-made tank is the little pins are missing for the turrets. They are present on all the other ones, so I think I've got some spare ones lying around for that, and if not, I can make them anyway. So I've got 3 for £10, and I thought, well, maybe it was just I misunderstood and that there was always 3 in there, but actually on the side of the tub, which you get to keep, it's exciting, isn't it? It says here, Bring and Buy, 15mm, Flames of War, 2 Churchills, £10. 2 Churchills. Profit? Yeah! Who spotted that, by the way? I didn't spot these, someone else spotted these. Who was it that spotted them? I'm very grateful for it. Just realised that my new angle poise is resting on my webcam, and every time I excitedly move around, I jolt the webcam, and that is unacceptable. Okay, that'll do better. Right, lots of chatter there, lots of chatter. We got a new subscriber. That's just come up on the show. Look at that. Is that Lou Smith? Lou Smith just subscribed. Thank you very much for subscribing. Very rare that we get a subscriber live on show. Welcome to the show. I hope you have a lovely time. Thanks for coming along. So Amazon sponsors Easy 8, please. Do you know what? I would love that. I would love to have a discussion with someone after the show on how to do something like that to give you guys discounts on Amazon. That would be cool, wouldn't it? So if anyone knows that sort of stuff, come and have a chat with me, because I'm a technophobe. I don't know what I'm doing. Some comments going in, some people making stuff. Jeff says he's working on the plans for a future build above top secret though. Can't say a word. I'm sure that's supposed to say can't say a word. Danny knows though. Danny does know, and I will tell you now. Do you know what? I'm actually gonna I'm gonna do a thing. Gonna make the music go silent because I know the top secret thing, and it is really, really exciting. The last top secret thing that Jeff had with Purple Lion Creations on this show was like a really super duper, really follow Purple Lion Creations. There's links down there. Go and check it out. Okay. Adrian says, finish off my Deathwing Cataphractii Terminators while also working on repainting my Blade Guard into Deathwing colours. Reinforcement arrived Monday. That's exciting. Pictures, please, or it never happened. Stick them up on Facebook. Wait, Danny uses brushes too. Yeah, I use brushes. I like to 50-50 it, man. I do like the airbrush. I'm not very good with either of them. I'm a little bit better with brushes, but yeah, it's traditional, isn't it? Painting brushes, but there's a lot of stuff you can't do with the airbrush. That, you know, a lot of detail things, so you have to have them. I like to do a lot of camouflage things with the airbrush, and it's just fun as well. He buys them just to collect them. Yeah, I like to collect them too. Maybe I'll have the whole the whole Raphael Kalinski range on the side. Makes more sense. Yeah, maybe it does. Oh, I got me that brush. Small, innit? It is small. It's not the smallest, like I said, and I'm really excited to use it. I don't see me using it today if this project goes well. Breaking in my Artist Opus Series M. What's the Series M? I know the D series, which is the dry brush. That's expensive. They've actually expanded that range as well recently. So there used to be 4. There's about 8 now. Excuse me. Isn't that the Churchill AVR turret? I don't think so, because I've got that in a little white metal model somewhere down there buried under some stuff. I'm fairly certain that is the crocodile. Yeah, but I could be wrong. I don't know what I'm talking about. You might know more. The flame was on the hull. Oh yeah, you're right. But I've seen the flamethrowers on the turrets in pictures as well. Do you know what? More research needed. It has the little toe thing on the back of it. I'm just happy I've got 3, alright? Actually 6, because there's 2 sets of sprues in them. Anyway, Dave pointed them out to me, and the staff pointed them out to me. Yes. Brilliant. Series M are detail brushes, grade 1 to 000. Ah, fantastic. Well, do you know what? Look at us with all the detail brushes, like we know what we're doing. Look at that, a new subscriber live on the show. Right, I'm just going to get my little piece of paper here so that I can start doing some spray stuff. And I'm going to have a go with this camouflage colour because I've been chatting away for long enough now. Let's crack on and do some painting. Like I say, if you are actually painting this evening, do let me know. I'm not just here for my own sake. I'm genuinely interested in what it is that you're doing. The turret is stuck to the hull. There we go. Let's give this a go. You can see here that there is, if I get it out of the lights, you can see that green is just really bright, and it's given me a bit of a headache, and I was getting very emotional about it. So I just wanted to go and buy a darker green. This could be too dark, but I've got the other greens to try and lighten it up. So I'm just going to have a go, just going to have some fun with it, and if not, I'm going to cry quietly in the corner, rocking backwards and forwards until the end of the evening. Staff says I'm building a Spitfire. That's exciting. Love a Spitfire. Big fan of the Hawker's Hurricane. I don't know much about planes, but I just like it. Nice model, nice plane. So, some of you are asking what happened to me this week. I've been doing a lot of running. Everyone knows that. The running's been going really well, although I've started to get a little bit of a muscle strain in my legs. Probably because I haven't run for a long time and I've gone straight in the deep end, because do the hard thing, because it's hard, right? So I was considering having a rest week. I didn't want to, but I was deeply considering it. The muscle in my left leg was really hurting. And then, just as if to really sell the idea of having a rest week, I was doing some work at work, pulling some old planks off the side of a building, and I stepped on a nail, and it was about this big. This big, and it went straight through the bottom of my boot and straight into my foot. And I have to say that I reacted like a complete buffoon. Not the way that I wanted, or ever hoped that I would react in the moment of complete pain and surprise and crisis. Instantly calmed myself down, apologised to everyone around me, and took myself away and treated myself. Then drove myself to hospital, waited for a couple of hours, and now have a tetanus jab. So now I've got muscle strain in one leg, a big fat gaping hole in the other foot, and a tetanus jab in this arm has deadened my arm, so I can't use 3 of my limbs properly. I'm on crutches. I'm feeling very sorry for myself, and have been the butt of many jokes in the office at work. So yes, stepping on nails, I always thought was a little bit of a comic-y thing to happen, and it happened to me, and I'll tell you now, it sucks. It's absolutely horrendous. Fortunately, it doesn't look like that I've got an infection, and yeah, I'm hopefully going to be back up on my feet properly within the next couple of days, and hopefully back running by next Thursday. That's what I want. Table of Horror says at least you were able to drive and didn't have to use a bike. The hospital was a bit of a drive. I would not have been using a bike, but yeah, you're absolutely right. Do you know what? It could have been a whole lot worse, but it still went into my foot probably by about an inch. There is a hole in your soul. There is. Yeah. It's all good though. It's a bit leaky at the moment. If there was a rake on the floor, like a garden rake, I would have stepped on it and it would have hit me in the face. Do you know that actually has happened to me as well? So, yeah. So I'm just a bit broken this week. Please tell me that your new nickname now is Plank. No, just an idiot, I think, really. Let's give this a go. It looks like it's a nice colour. Okay, I'm just going to spray it all over the floor. That's great. I am not going to thin this to start with. I'm just going to see how well it works. That's a squeezy bottle. Very, very squeezy bottle. Doesn't work like the traditional ones. It's a bit weird. Okay, let's just see how I can control this. Let's see the flow. Okay, good flow. Good paint. Good quality. Don't let it get infected. We know what happens if feet get infected. Yeah, no, I'm with Overlord. What happens? What happens if feet get infected? That is so different from other limbs. Do we lose the foot? You suddenly have twice the amount of socks that you need. Okay, here we go. So I'm just going to do a tester on the top here, because if it all goes wrong, it's hidden mostly by the turret. So I'm just going to start inside this little turret ring here. And you tell me what you think of this colour. Just going to hit that with a little bit of cold air. I'm already liking that. I'm already thinking that's the right colour. That's pretty much where I wanted it to be. What does everyone think of that? Let's let that dry. I'll just hit that with a little bit of cold air. I think that is much closer to where we needed it to be. It's all very shiny and very glossy at the moment, and that's just because all the paints are on there in various thicknesses, and they do shine. I'm going to hit it with a lot of matte varnish, and then weatherings and stains and stuff, and it will look really cool. But that is so much closer to where I wanted it to be. Now you can see that line on the top, the bright green line compared to this dark green patch here. It's just worlds apart, isn't it? Jeff saying there that it's much better. Yeah, great. I'm actually quite happy with that. I'm going to try and get in closer to make a more defined line. The further you are away, the larger area you'll cover, because the paint comes out in a cone, right? So the closer you are, the smaller that cone is, so you'll get very precise lines. The further you are away, you'll get a faint coverage with fuzzier lines. I think my needle is a slightly larger needle, and you can get different needles and nozzle sets, but I think this one is designed for like slightly larger coverage. I could get another needle that is finer, so I could do a lot more detail work with it. One of the things that I think that I need to do with my camouflage designs is start brushing them in a little bit more, because when I'm doing research, I noticed that my lines are too clean cut. You can see the red line here, for example, just as a line that kind of goes up. And while that looks all right, they are actually really blotchy all over. Like the little bits are going to stick out from all over the place. So I can always do that with the brush later on. It's just fun to use the airbrush. I'm just being honest. There's no reason for me to use it really, other than it can be quicker to do like large areas evenly. That's a really good bonus. It's just fun. Yeah, Night and Day says Overlord. Yeah, I agree. It's such an improvement, isn't it? It tells me that I don't know my stuff about camouflage, because clearly that light green is correct. That's the darker of the three greens, I think. So I need to do more research, and that's what I like about this hobby. It teaches me stuff, real stuff, and that's exciting. Adrian says, yes you do, you lose the foot and you need a prosthetic. Yeah, do you know what, when I said that, I knew exactly what was happening. I was just being dumb for just a short moment in time. I pick up my new socket for my leg on the 19th. Oh, well, happy days. I can airbrush it for you if you want. Give you some German camouflage if you like. Table of Horror says, stupid question. But I'm learning still, researching how to use the streaking gram, etc. But wondering, would regular white spirit be okay to use because it's way cheaper than AK branded? Yeah, absolutely it is. The reason that it's more expensive is because it's got AK written on the bottle. You're absolutely right. You can buy it, and I would recommend this, the odorless version. I don't know if it's like cheaper and more expensive or anything, but it is just more pleasant to be working around. It will have a slight smell to it. But the stuff that has an odour, I think, is just like for building sites and just general work like that. So yeah, get the odourless one. It will make it much more comfortable to work with. It is fine. Adrian saying, don't tempt me. I'm tempting you, man. I think it will look sick. If you want, we can get some stencils and we can do some like digital flecktarn. That'd be cool, right? So other ways that I can achieve really stark edges and not fuzzy edges is by masking. We were talking about that a little while ago as well. I'd like to have a go at that. I could use blue tack, but I know that blue tack, even just by holding blue tack, it leaves like an oily film on your fingers, and I wonder if that would be detrimental to like the painting process. So I think I'm going to avoid blue tack for now, but it's worth experimenting with for sure. But you can get like masking putties, and I think I would like to have a go with a masking putty to kind of get like, and also I wouldn't have to freestyle so much my designs. I know I drew these on with a pencil, but I could sit there and really mask out where I wanted the colours to go. You can also buy liquid mask, which I'm nervous to use just because, I don't know, I've never used it before and it scares me. It's just fun, isn't it? That colour is absolutely bang on. Next time. Groovy, thank you. I figured it was the same stuff, just paying for a brand name, but wanted to check, thank you. It might have ingredients in it that kind of make it better or maybe more suitable for running through an airbrush if you've been using grimes with that. If you are going to use like oil-based or enamel-based stuff in your airbrush, clean it. Just clean it because it will probably ruin stuff. But yeah, normal thinner is fine. I've got AK thinner and odorless. Sorry, AK white spirit and odorless thinner, and they both work in exactly the same way. And that might just be because I'm an amateur and I haven't yet identified the difference. But the odorless thinner I found was actually less virulent to work with. I prefer it to white spirit. So I'm literally just freestyling all of these green lines, all of my camouflage lines, red and green, and I know that I've got a lot of practice to do to kind of make them look authentic, to make them look real. But this was a gift from Stafford in the live chat. Thank you, Stafford. And I'm just having fun with it because that was the intention of the gift. Do you know what I think I'm going to do? Just to see what it's like. Once I've got everything kind of mapped out with the airbrush, is I will come in with a hand brush and I will just neaten up the edges and kind of, stop them from being so fuzzy, and then just add kind of blotchy marks all over them to stop them making look like they're just so defined lines, Stafford says, Danny, you are welcome. Thank you very much, Stafford. You are really nice. I understand also from Facebook that Stafford's just built himself a new painting station. That's exciting. Tell us all about that, please, Stafford. Having a dedicated painting space is conducive to being able to paint your miniatures regularly, because you have this. We were talking about this when we were at Plymouth. If you have a place dedicated to where you can do your hobby, you're more likely to do it. And that sounds really daft, but it's a really big factor. Before I had a dedicated space, it was a hassle to get all the stuff out to do it and then to pack it away afterwards. So by having yourself a dedicated space, man, you're more likely to do all the fun stuff, all the cool stuff. So if you haven't got one and you're thinking about maybe having one, get on it. Oh, yeah, I squeezed that out too easily, didn't I? It's a really runny paint. This new dropper bottle, it's very squeezy. Don't like it. So guys, what colour should the Spitfire cockpit be and the pilot flight suit gonna paint while building? They are, I think on the inside of the British planes, they were some sort of weird sky blue colour, I think, and the flight suits, I don't know. That's like my first cup of tea all day. I absolutely needed that. Once again, I'm just going to take the nozzle protector guard thing off there, just because as I'm starting to get used to this paint, it is drying ever so slightly. You can see like a little dot on the end of the needle there. That's just a little bit of dry paint, and it just collects. And if I can just keep on keeping it nice and clean, I should be able to get nice and close, do some fine lines. do have quite a wide needle. That's quite a wide line there. Okay. It does dry very quickly on the needle tip. Just going to give that other bit there another layer and just see if increasing the layers makes the colour stand out anymore. I think that's looking pretty gosh darn good right now. Lexi's joined us. Hi Lexi, tea is always a necessity. Yes it is, it gets me through the day. If I don't have it I turn into a right grumpy mongrel. You need to watch the Battle of Britain, Mr. Gauzy. Yeah, I haven't seen that for a long time. They were a light green inside. Well, there you go. Shows how much I know about aircraft. How's the new lamp setting in? It's lovely. Yeah, I'm really happy, which is good because, like Adrian says, it's spenny. It's I gotta stop saying that. It's 250 quid, and it better be all bells and whistles, and it really is. Previously I had two little angle poises with LEDs in them and they were good for what they were. I've given them away now, and those two lights together didn't even have a scratch on this. And it's not just about the illumination, it's about the colour appropriate temperature of them. They are suited to the human eye for working on projects at a table height here. They're it's a project lamp, and it's just worlds apart, absolutely worlds apart. I put those other two lights on with this one on to see if it would help kind of balance out shadows, and you can't even tell that those other two lights are on with this one. So yeah, really happy with the purchase. This light is currently behind the webcam. And I was worried about it casting a shadow on the table, but the light is so good that you can't. There is a shadow that would be here. If I actually turn, because I can dim it, if I turn it down, you can see where the shadow would be. So, well, do you know what? You can't even see where the shadow is on the screen. Is it that? Basically, there is a shadow here. It's not really showing up on my monitor very well, so I wonder if you're able to see it on yours. But it is a very impressive lamp, and it's got a very good angle poise on it that I'm really happy with. The individual lights can be moved around just to kind of position the light how you need it to. I'm still going to be playing around with this position for a long time, I think. And by the way, like if it's too bright, if it's bleaching out colours and stuff on the screen, let me know, because I can play around with it. Whatever, no dramas. So if you want one, I did put up a link on Facebook, so that you can go and check it out for yourself and do a little bit of research if you want. Obviously, at this price, you should definitely go and do some research on it before you just kind of go and add to cart, because it might not be for you. Stafford's there saying that the old lights are still going strong. I gave them to Stafford for his new painting workstation. They had a value in the fact that they were portable, but so's this. It has exactly the same setup as the other ones did. It has like a little desk lamp angle poise thing on them. I love it. Kez bought one as well, and she swears by it. She's not actually online tonight, but it massively improved my workspace. And people think I'm like a pro now, right? Yeah. Hi. Just sent you a message in Messenger with a picture of a cockpit. Okay, me? I don't want one. Thank you, Adrian. That is a very light green. I thought it was blue. I genuinely thought it was blue. Okay. I messed up a little bit on the side there. I went a bit too heavy, and what that's done is left me with a little glossy blotch in the paint. So I'm just going to try and spray over that, just to lose that a little bit. I still don't have fine trigger control with an airbrush. So, we're back on track, which is really exciting. I'm really excited by it. So what I'm going to do, I think, is carry on with the green. I'm going to map out some more lines on the green and red ones. Because I'm working with the green, I might as well just carry on with that for a little while. And then I'll put the red ones in later. And I've also still got to do them on the turret. All in all, a nice little success story this evening, isn't it? I like that. Yeah. So Jeff was saying to me the other day that on a lot of this sort of colour scheme, late German armour design, the red and the green, they seem to kind of like be connected to each other quite a bit. So I'm going to try and freestyle it a little bit and do that as much as possible. Now I did bring up a little pencil here the other day, but I have moved. There it is. Cool. I'd lost that for a second. It is worth drawing it in rather than freestyling it. I did that on one of my bigger Panther builds a little while ago, and it was a little trickier to tackle. Just going to dim the light a little bit because I've got a little bit of shine coming back on some of those paints there. Still getting a little bit of wear and tear down here, and that is bothering me a little bit, so I'm definitely going to have to do some more varnish on that. The last time I did that, there was only this little bit of damage here. Will it focus? It will. And now, I don't know if you can see it, but there's more damage along here, and that's just the paint was thin and I handled it and it's peeling away. So yeah, arg. Jeff says your Churchill croc should have the long 3-inch gun. The short one is the petard. Yeah. Okay, so here's the standard Churchill cannon. Boom boom. Here's the other one, which I think is the crocodile, but oh hello. Could be the 3-inch gun. I've got a couple of metal ones. I'll put them out after the break. I thought it was the flamethrower, but Overlord is absolutely right. The one at Bovington, as a prime example, is hull mounted, and it's not on the turret. It's almost like it has the two guns. So I don't know if that is supposed to be it or not. I think it is. I just got that niggling feeling it is. But do you know what? Like I said, look, 2 turrets. That's two tanks for the price of 1. I know you can't use them at the same time in the same thing, could you? But it's just exciting to have them. And I thought that here's the chassis of the tanklet. Yeah, towing behind it is this little trailer, which they got the trailer for the crocodile at Bovington Tank Museum. Now thinking about it, the one at Bovington is open backed and you can see the fuel tanks in there, which I wouldn't want to have exposed. So it makes me wonder if this is if it's just a trailer that's towing stuff and it might not even have fuel in it. I don't know, man. I don't know what I'm talking about. I think the crocodile was an absolutely hideous war machination, and frankly is an appalling thing to have ever conceived of. But it's an exciting model, you know. But I don't know much about Churchills at all, yet alone the specifics of a crocodile. Okay, I'm going to do a red line here to kind of break it up a little bit. For now, I'm just going to do a green line, and I'm going to do it sort of here, and I'm going to do it there. I'll make it a bit irregular, and I'll go over here. I'll actually get into the shot so you can see what I'm doing. And I'm going to make it kind of come over here, and I'll do something like that, and make it go up against the red thing here. Yeah, let's do that. I'll come away from there, and I'll do a funny thing where it splits off a little bit. This is quite fun. One of the things that I've always struggled with is the random nature, or the what looks like random nature of camouflage, and I struggle trying to create it. So this is like one of my painting I spat, I'm so sorry. This is one of my painting challenges. I have a mustache that I'm eating. And my breath collects on it and I just sprayed. Mustache moisture. So glad that's on the internet for the rest of life. Let's do that. That looks pretty fun. Yeah, let's see where that takes us. Okay. Lovely. Yeah, I'm trying to grow myself a big curly whirly. I'm halfway there, but it's in my mouth. As far as I'm aware, the Crocs have the 6-pounder in the turret and the flamer in the hull. Okay, cool. What does this bad boy have in the hull? A tiny little MG. So, yeah, maybe not the Crocodile. It is if I want it to be. 100% agree, it's a horrific weapon. Yeah, it's... You've got to be a bit of a nasty person to be okay with having pulled the trigger on that, right? Hey man, war wasn't a bed of roses, right? It wasn't. This is a really nice paint to paint with. I wonder what it's like with a brush. My concentration voice. I have on fairly good authority that war, in fact, was good for absolutely nothing. You should write a song about that. Especially when they did a wet spurt first, so the fuel seeps in before lighting it after. What do you mean by the fuel seeps in? Like in the tank that's shooting it? Or like it fires out an unignited glob before it ignites. That's it's just gonna be horrendous. I do know that both sides used to like find flamethrower units, tanks, or ground troops, whatever, and would take them out with much prejudice. And even when tank crews surrendered, if they were commanding a flamethrower tank, that they were often just killed on the spot because such a hideous weapon. I get it, man. Gone a little bit fuzzy down here where I've had a little bit of spray. Still trying to learn fine trigger controls. I'll neaten it up maybe by brush later on. Or a little bit of red later. Who knows? Let's see where the whimsy takes me. I can indeed say with quite a bit of confidence that my needle is quite a large needle. So I just stab myself with it. So yeah, I'm not able to get really fine, crisp lines. Overlord says unignited spurt before following up with secondary ignited spurt. That's just to kind of have that brief moment of panic before then your world falls apart. It's horrendous. Table of Horror says, since watching you work on this German tank, I found myself playing Hearts of Iron 4. Do you know what? I'm so glad to hear that someone is inspired. That is exactly what the show is all about. Inspiration, motivation, bit of company. But please, pray tell, what is Hearts of Iron 4? It sounds like a video game. It is, isn't it? Oh, I had a little bit of detail control there. That was fun. Cat hair? What would a show be without a cat hair? Now I can see this tank being a little bit more green weighted at the moment. That's an obvious thing. That is going to happen because I'm just working on green at the moment. But I'll probably put on another stripe or two of green on the hull, do some on the turret, and then I'll move over onto the red and do exactly the same. And then I'll try and blend in some highlights into them as well. And some shadows. I'll do a load of pin lining on it so to enhance all the details on there, and then I'll do some weathering on it. Obviously not all of that is going to happen today by any stretch of the imagination. I've still yet to get some decals for it, but you know, all in good time. I want to do a lot of the weathering, if not all of the weathering really, after the decals go on, because obviously the decals will be painted on a real tank and weathering would happen over the top of that. Cool beans. Got to do some camouflage on the back, camouflage on the front, and a little bit here. So I think I might do like a little line here, or a little patch just here, and then do some red on the hull. So if I did like green line, I think it'd be nice to have a little bit of yellow showing here. Like that. I don't want two green front mud guards, that would look a little rubbish. So I'm going to bring this line in down here, come across halfway, and then I can do like a red line over there later. Do on the red going up to the red over there. So, or maybe I do, I don't know, see what happens. Something like that. Okay, let's give that a go. Soak them first, then ignite, so they have no chance. Yes, pretty horrendous, isn't it? Hearts of Iron 4 is one of them video games. This is one of them video games. It's a grand strategy World War II thing. Good stuff. I'm absolutely horrendously apologetic to whoever's accent that was that I just completely tore apart. It seems to be a regular thing now on the show. Easy 8 upset a whole country show. Yeah, sorry. Oh, look at that fine line. Oh, look at me ruin that. Oh dear. If you haven't got an airbrush and you are looking at getting one, it is absolutely worth just getting a piece of paper, just practicing doing lines and patterns and writing and drawing, and maybe even just drawing out camouflage. Get a colouring book and just see if you can go over, you know, all the lines with the colours that you like. Just play around with it. I did that for like half an hour and I kind of got like bored, and I just had to get involved in the model because I was excited that I got an airbrush and it was a new toy. But you know, it doesn't mean I still can't do it. I've just got lots of models to paint, so just try and practice on them, right? Now I've got a memory, and I think this is a real memory. Jeff, being my dad, hi Dad, in the group chat there, live chat. I remember you having an airbrush. I think it was a Badger airbrush. Years ago, when I was about 4 or 5, you painted a backdrop for a lot of your models with an airbrush, and you did clouds, and it was just so random and light, but it looked really real. Is that a real memory I have? Is that you? I'm sure it is. My concentration voice again, I know. I'm sorry. I know that you all need to hear the siren song. That is the sound of my voice, but sometimes I just got to concentrate, guys. Stop listening to Danny. I can't help it. It's too beautiful. Yeah, I know. I think I've just reached the end of the pot there. Okay, cool. Do you know what I'm going to do? I'm just going to give that a little flush out with some water. Just going to put my little needle protector back on. And we are at 8 o'clock, so it's probably worth heading for a quick break. Let's pop that over there for a second. Bring my little purge tank in. There it is. That's why I like to put the needle protector back on, just because popping it in here you might end up just damaging the end of it, and if you damage the end of it, it's done. You can't really come back from that, and the needles are really expensive, anywhere from 20, 30, 40 quid. Jeff says, yeah, the only good thing I painted before I killed it. So it was that, yeah. It's a shame. Jeff says, do the rest of the show with your best German. Now, okay, I talk German. Not fluently, but I certainly have a conversation. And we do have German viewers, and I have conversed with the German viewers in German on Discord into the wee hours of the morning with much alcohol. I can talk German. I've been told that my German is very good. I've been also told by the same German people that my accent is appalling. So I probably would upset a large amount of people very quickly. I then tried to practice my German accent with these people, and what we as English people might consider rude, offensive, or stereotypical is actually like a large way to being correct. So I thought I was being really rude by putting on horrible movie style accents, and I was told no, it's actually quite close. I'm like, oh, okay, cool. So I come from Devon, and I have not the thickest, broadest accent, but it can. I think it's quite funny to hear a German person talking in a Devonshire accent. It's like the country bumpkin of Germans. So no, I'm not going to upset a whole nation just by talking in German. Not going to do it. You could recreate a random scene from Allo Allo. Love that program. Still not going to do it. Dang, break time came around quickly. It absolutely, yeah, it does. I know I talk a lot at the beginning, especially, but it is a show, you know. But yeah, time does move on. 2 hours isn't an awful lot when you've got to do hobby, and that's exactly why I make this show. It's so that we have dedicated time to just kind of get together, and even if it's only 10 minutes that you get to actually paint, if it's the only 10 minutes you're getting every week, that's why I think the show has proven to be quite valuable to some people, because you've got to make time for the stuff that you enjoy doing, because the world's all work, 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 isn't it? As Rihanna said. I don't know the rest of that song, that's all I know. Just don't say donkey gulp. Yeah, don't say donkey gulp. It's... Bye. I'm gonna have a break now. Go change your paint water. See you back in 10. Bye. Donkey gulp. Welcome back. I went and poured myself a grown-up juice. If you got one too, cheers. Here's to not stepping on nails. Oh, it's been a little while since I've had one of those. Yum, that is really nice. And first time I've ever had beer all at my moustache. Apologies for looking scruffy. Don't say donkey gulp. Gonna Google this word. Never Google anything that you don't know, for a start. Behave yourself. But Dunkelgelb, said like that, obviously, is German for dark yellow. So yeah, they have Dunkelgelb, they have Dunkelbraun, which is a dark brown, Dunkelgreen, Dunkelrot, which is, I think that is an actual colour, but dark red, so dunkel, dark, and then put on whatever colours you want. The German camouflage, or the German yellow colour, is just basically German dark yellow, but Donkey Gelb is just a Stafford way of saying something funny. I don't know what it produces on a Google search. Judging by the look that you've given there, might not be the best thing to search for. Be safe, kids. I'm just looking at this camouflage pattern that I'm doing here. I'm quite chuffed with it. I'm quite happy with it. What I am happy with is this colour paint. It is absolutely everything I needed to kind of pursue this little project a little bit further. So dead happy with that. If you want to know what it is Vallejo Model Air Olive Green, and its colour code RLM80 or 71.265. Of course, you can always come back on the replay to find that out. So yeah, it's a great colour. It's better than the little set of colours that I've got. Not that modulation set was wrong, it's just more appropriate for the vision I've got in my head what I wanted here. I wanted it dark. I've seen a lot of dark camouflage colours. I wanted this thing to be dark and gritty. That's how I like my tanks. But I'm not going to get rid of that camouflage set because it is an appropriate colour set. I just need to learn to do brighter models. I should probably make a move away from modulation sets and just learn to paint it a colour, then do a camouflage colour, do another camouflage colour, without trying to do all these fancy pants shading things, which I do enjoy doing. That's why I do it. and then do weathering over top and just see how it compares, basically. But yes, good colour, Model Air. Loving it. Table of Horror says in Japanese there are at least two ways to say yellow. No difference in the tone of yellow. Oh, okay, cool. I suppose we have a lot of different words for rain. Yeah, I'm enjoying this project. I'm going to carry on doing this green. I was wondering if I was going to have to move over and do another project, but it seems to be working very, very well. I'm going to carry on the hull here because I haven't got any camouflage on the back plate, and I just need to finish off the front a little bit as well before I move on to the turret. Once I've got those colours blocked in, I'm then going to come in with a brush, and like I said, I'm just going to neaten up the edges of all these colour patches a little bit, and that is stop them from looking so spattery, because an airbrush does that if you haven't got the best control over it, and also just to stop them from looking like just large sweeping lines. They need to have a lot of detail irregularities along the edges of these colour lines, and that is what I am lacking, and it looks good, but it could be a lot better, I think. What I'm concerned about is that when I do that, I'm going to be moving over to brush, and I'm going to be leaving brush streaks, even the slightly small, the smallest brush streaks, there will be texture. And one of the things that an airbrush is very good at, once you've kind of got used to it, is having no texture. There is a little bit from where I've been like mishandling it a little bit, big spatter areas, whatever. But a brush is going to leave something more noticeable than what the airbrush does, and that might detract from the whole thing. But you don't know until you have a go, so I'm going to give it a shot, basically. If you are new here to Easy 8, please do like, share, subscribe, follow, thumbs up, all those things. Subscribing is the big one. The community is growing. It's growing all the time, and I couldn't be happier with that. But let's not stop. Go and tell a friend. Go and tell a stranger. Go and shout it out in the middle of your living room, at work, at school. Maybe not at school, maybe at college. But whatever. You know, just bring people to the community to let them know that it's here for them. Are you actually drinking Hobgoblin, or have you desecrated that glass? I am drinking Hobgoblin Gold from a Hobgoblin glass. I like gold ales. Cheers. So yeah, please do subscribe. do share, thumbs up the video. Every video has its own little thumbs up thing. Hit the bell icon so that you know when I do like a little sneaky secret show, because sometimes I do that sort of thing. Leave comments down there. Adding comments in also helps the algorithm. All hail the algorithm. So yeah, all of these things would be really greatly appreciated so the community can keep on growing, because that's what I want. Table of Horrors says, don't forget the first rule of Easy 8 Club. Don't ask what happened to the Easy 7. Don't never talk about Easy 7. How very dare you. Moving over to the workbench. Made someone laugh there. God, yeah, I'm really into this. Sorry guys, I'm going to get drunk on air. That would be a show, wouldn't it? Right. So, before we get involved into this, just before I sat back down in the chair again, I went and found my other Churchill. This is... do you know, I forget what size gun it is. It's a big old gun. It's a 3-inch gun, that's what it is. It's a huge old gun. It has a casemate, it doesn't have a turret, for those of you that don't know what a casemate is. In World War II, they still sort of do this, but it was a big tank design back then. You had tanks with turrets and tanks without turrets. And the reason that you have a turret is because it gives you a lot more angle of fire. Generally, especially after a very early date, at 360 degrees. The gun can turn all the way around. You have a crew inside the turret, and they can shoot in every direction. A casemate is a bigger gun fitted inside that tank. It's so big that there isn't enough room to move the turret around inside. But the arms race that was the Second World War was, can we make a tank with bigger armour to stop your shells going through us and causing us, to lose? So therefore we need a bigger gun, we need to fit it in our current tank, because making a whole new tank is a big deal. So you get a bigger gun, you put it in the tank, you take the turret off and you weld a big box over the top of it, and that's what this is. This is the Churchill AVRE. I can't remember what it stands for. Is it AVRE? It's a really big gun. Alright. When I was looking for Churchills, this is all I could find at the time. I bought these from the Pit Gaming shop. You need to go and check them out. There's a link down in the description. Go and check out the Pit. They are great. More on those in a little bit. I've got 2 of these. This is the standard Churchill. Let's get his little turret on. There's his little turret. So that's what a Churchill really looks like. He's not actually all glued together. But yeah, you can see the difference here. It's a heck of a gun, isn't it? It's quite a difference. So this Churchill here, the plasticky one, has a little turret that moves around, and that is your standard gun. Don't know what it is. It's probably a 75, but I could be wrong. Like I say, I don't know my Churchills. Now, during the break, I was getting messages from people saying that this is the 95mm howitzer. 95mm howitzer. A howitzer, I think, is a gun that fires a really big shell. Is that right? It's a mortar, right? Now there is the Churchill AVRE. That's the petard. I will take some photos because I'm going to the Tank Museum this weekend, and I will take some photos of all the Churchills. I'm going to take lots of photos for everyone to see, but they have a petard there, and it is a Churchill. So what they have done, I think it has a turret. I could be wrong. I think it has a turret, but they have taken this gun out of it, and they have a barrel that is big enough that I could squeeze myself down inside. It's also very, very short. Barrels are often designed, the longer they are, to have more range and accuracy on them, but the petard is different. It has a very, very short barrel, and it has to be loaded by a guy that pokes his head out of this little hatch here, or one of these little hatches, with no gun there. He has to face backwards and load a shell that is this large into the front of the gun. It comes in 2 parts. It's basically a giant stubby gas canister with a tail fin on the back of it, and you screw the 2 together outside of the tank, front load it, and then get back inside. And it is a mortar, a tank mortar, and it fires this basically dumpy gas cylinder, which is packed with explosives rather than gas. Has quite a range on it, and you designate a building to go bye-bye. I've seen some footage of them. They are horrendously effective vehicles. That I think is the AVRE. There are so many different things about the Churchill. I know quite a bit about the M3 medium, the M4 medium, the Sherman and the Grant. I know a little bit about the M3 and M5 Stuarts, which is also called the Honey Tanks. The Churchills I just don't know a lot about. So let's get a conversation about Churchills going. I'd love to know more. Teach me everything. Drop all of your Churchill related comments in the comment section down there, and let's keep that thread going, and let's see if that affects the algorithm. All hail the algorithm, or the greater good. Also, if this isn't the crocodile, what's that about? Is it just a thing to tow around with? I like that. I value that. That's great. But I'm just happy you got all these tanks. That white metal model, by the way, sucks. It's an awful model to paint. Right. Cool. Easy 7. She was pretty good. I told you I didn't talk about her. Front loading. Yep. Yeah. The 25-pound artillery gun. Yeah. I will take photos at Boffington. It can fire normal ammunition too, right? It doesn't have to be painting streamers, right? I believe Churchill offered cheaper car insurance. Well, Winston Churchill was the original one. We give the best information. I am very confused, so I'm gonna drink. So, we went to Plymouth this weekend. Me, Dave, who's in the chat, Stafford, who's in the chat, Jeff, who's in the chat. We had a cracking time, we had a great time, and I met with the Pit Gaming Store. I really promote the Pit. They are miles and miles away from me. They're in North London. They go to virtually every single show across the country all the time. They are always on the road. And I really value their company. I think they're a real swell bunch of guys. Matt is the man who fronts them up. He is the big Pit boss, as his shirt says. And he's just got a great team working with him. And if you want models, cool stuff or whatever, please go and check out the Pit Gaming Store. The Pit Gaming Store and Overlord Games are my two main promoted suppliers of cool stuff. Please go and check them both out. They're just wonderful people, great stores, and you're helping out small businesses, and that's just a really wholesome thing, right? I also got to sit down for the first time really with Matt and his sidekick Elliot. And together they both taught me how to play the Walking Dead tabletop game. I had a great time. I played as Rick and Carl, and apparently everyone sacrifices Carl because he's whiny in the comics. But I used them both, and I caused a lot of mayhem, fought a lot of zombies, and I got away. And I had a great time. So do you know what, Matt and Elliot, thank you so much for your time that you dedicated to sitting there teaching me how to play a game while serving customers. I had a great time, learned a new game, and it was just nice to sit down and have a chat with you, really. It was really cool. Go check out the Pit Gaming Store. Also, go check out Overlord Games because they're watching me from the live chat. You should definitely go check out that store as well. There's loads of links downstairs. Go and check them all out. So yeah, that was Plymouth. I like going to Plymouth. It was a bit smaller this year. Okay, this new dropper bottle is not a dropper bottle. It lies. You can't squeeze out a little drop like you would normally do with a dropper bottle. It squeezes out little blasts. Do not like that. Vallejo, stop it. But the paint is really good. I want to control the amount of paint that I got. I don't want to be chucking it all in there. I'm just going to crank up the pressure a bit. That might help me. When I'm spraying the paint, I'm getting like not a spider web, but I'm getting a lot of fuzz around the outside. And I wonder if I just push a little bit more pressure through, it might help prevent that. It does look like it's doing it a little bit. Okay, cool. Now I've drawn a little line on the back over here, and I want to fill that in. I'm also going to do something with this green line here. I don't like the way it just kind of pokes up. I'm going to try and make it join onto the red a little bit here as well. So I wanted to do a little bit of green down here. Now you can see that the modulation colours of the yellow, I've got a very, very dark back end and I've got a very, very bright front end. That's how I like to use my modulation colours. But I don't have a modulation set in this colour green. But because of the environment that it's in, so the area around this green, it naturally looks like it's darker. And then it naturally looks like it's lighter. So it's kind of an illusion. And I'm going to try and play on that as much as possible. Because I don't have a modulation set for this colour. This is as dark as it gets. Now you'll hear my airbrush kind of pulsing rather than just a continuous spray. You'll hear this kind of pop, 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 pop. There's a very good reason for that. That is two reasons at the moment while I'm doing it. Is one, I'm just trying to get little puffs of air to get in and around all the detail without having a constant build up everywhere else. But also by constantly pulsing the air, I'm blowing out any build up that's kind of building up on the very tip of the needle inside. If I've got a constant stream, you're going to get a constant flow of paint. Inside that flow of paint will dry on contact with the needle and you'll get a build up. So by constantly puffing, you're kind of blowing that build up away before it has a chance to dry. That being said, it is often totally acceptable to be doing longer flows. You just got to make sure that you're cleaning the needle off all the time. At my age, they're all long flows. I don't even know what that means. Stafford says, just for your awareness, I still hate painting, but you are getting so much done, as you keep on telling me, so well done you. Do a little bit of freestyle over the top here. Just because I want those greens touching a little bit more with the reds. There, certainly got a pencil line there as well. I wonder if I can rub a lot of that out. Probably not now because I have varnished it since the last time I painted on it. I'm not particularly happy with this red line at the back. It is just like a big arching line that goes from one side over the top and around the other. But you know, it's on there now, whatever. Where am I going with this green line? What I'd like to do is have like a little red line just down here. Come on, autofocus. Do your thing. There we go. I want to have a red line that kind of goes across here. I don't want it to come over too far because I've got this big red line. I might even extend this red bit here and just kind of come down there. I want to have a nice sort of 50-50 between the red and green, and I want together the red and green to outweigh the yellow just a little bit. Cataphractory Terminators are done, photographed and posted to the Book of Face. Excellent. I would love to go and have a little check up on those in a little bit. Honestly, guys, like watching, I gotta stop calling you guys. Do you know that's a big YouTube pet peeve? Saying guys all the time. I don't like that. It's cheap. My apologies. What I was trying to say is I really like it when you guys, when you folks, when you people, when you viewers post your photos, because it's really nice just to see everything that you're doing during the show. But I also do... Oh, that beer is repeating me. But I also do get quite inspired by the work that you're doing. And inspiration, I think, is a valuable... Is it a virtue? It's a thing, right? It's a valuable thing. The muse, you know. To be inspired to do something creative. Okay. I think that is as much green as I want to do for a moment. I'm just going to tart this up a little bit on the front here. Lol. I am one of those people that says lol as well. I will be coming in by hand to sort of neaten up all these lines as well, but I just kind of want to do as much as I can with the airbrush for now, just to get like an even layer. And I said I wanted to just sort this little line out here, didn't I? So what I'm going to do is just take... The light stopped shining on it, but it just kind of ends here. I want it to come up to the red and just along a little bit, so just going to fill that in. Behave. Can't quite, there we go. I've just got a little bit of paint building up on the needle tip there. Yeah, that's better. Happy with that. Okay. Sweet. Let's move the hull over there. Joe, I'm actually really happy with that. It's still yet to have more red on there, but that is absolutely the colour that I wanted. I can see the aesthetic now with the bright yellow and the dark greens there. I can really see it all coming together. I'm stoked. I'm really happy with it. Really, really happy. Adrian says 5 Blade Guard to do as well as now 25 Terminators and Belial. That's a character for those of you that don't know. 3 Watches in the Dark and 4 Teleport Homers. My pile is growing less, a little at a time. Congratulations, well done. That is the selling thing about this show. Get your grey stuff painted. Well done. Table of Horror says, never say that last bit out loud. G-Devil will hear you and start to tempt you. Okay. I feel like the dark powers are forming against me. Turret time. That's looking sick. I'm really happy with that. It's just nice when things go right, innit? Especially after a little bit of stress trying to work out what colours I wanted to do what. I think it's important here to pop the turret back in place. All the paint is dry, roughly, to see where the colours kind of connect. Now I know that as the turret turns around, the connection points of colours will change. That's fine, but these tanks were painted roughly like this, so there will be a connecting green line here, maybe a connecting red line there, and even on a real tank that will change as the turret changes. So what I'm looking for here is a green line here that starts there somewhere. I could just about see that pencil line. Excuse me. And I'm going to want that other green line to, I don't want it to dominate the whole side here, so I'm going to do it along here. So if yeah, like that, I think. And I think that I'll just come up in front of the cupola. I know people call it a cupola, and I know that people who say cupola think that they're right. I can't find any definitive evidence to suggest that it is. Cupola is the word. I know that the guy, I can't remember his name, I'm awful with names, the guy who was a tank commander, he sounds Irish, I think he is Irish, he's an enormously tall person, he served with the American Armoured Cavalry for many years and commanded an Abrams, and he has said that it is called a cupola, but he served in the US Cavalry, where, as much as we love our American counterparts, they say things differently to us. So if you are English, like I am, British, just cupola, you know, respecting the Americans and the way that they pronounce things, we speak a different language. It's a cupola. Get over it. Of course you can call it whatever. You can call it Susan if you want. It doesn't really matter, does it? But that's why I call it a cupola. Just in case there are cupola haters out there, you know. I think it's important to make sure that we all know why we call it that. Okay, so I don't know where my green line should come from. Do I want to do big lines over the top? Probably. So I'm going to connect it with this green line over here. So I'm going to do a weird and wibbly green line. I'll take it for a little walk over here, maybe. I'll do something weird with it in the middle, do like a little wavy line like that. That looks pretty cool, doesn't it? Yeah, like that. And then it'll come down the front of the mantlet here, just to give it something interesting. And I'm going to make this green line here connect roughly with it, like that. It'll come up, go for a little walk around these little things. These are all like air conditioning units and things, and like periscopes as well. That's nice. I like that line. We've also got some green bits here, so what I'll probably do is I'll connect this green line here, come up the back like that, and I'll just do something like that. I'm getting into this camouflage drawing thing now. This is kind of fun. So that's green, that's green. I could do like a little flick of green up the side here, couldn't I? Just a little bit. I want to make sure there's space for red. And then these tank tracks here, these are spare tracks that were bolted on the side. They'd be all rusty brown. It probably would be jet gloss black from coming out of the factory, but my tank hasn't just come out of the factory, so they'll be a bit rusty. And then we're going to have little rings and stuff going down the turret, sorry, down the cannon. So I think that the first one, I think I'd like to make that red, because at the moment I've got a little bit of red that comes at the front there, and I'd like to do some red on there. So I'll do a green one here, and I'm going to try, trying to paint on something long and narrow and cylindrical like this is actually quite difficult to get like wavy sort of lines on them. So I will just draw roughly where I want green to go. I'll do one there. I'll do like another red one there or something. And I'll do another green one here. I'm just kind of almost like rough markings really. And I'll probably like do another red. I'll do like red and green connected, and then I'll do like a green end on the muzzle there, mixing up the routine a little bit. So it's going to go red, green, and then green, red. Red, green, red, green, red, green? Yeah, whatever. Who cares? Something like that. I think that's going to look cool. Let's give this a shot. Okay, just going to take the little needle protector off the end. A really nice turret pin to hold on to here. I am going to move that away in case I start doing overspray. Let's sit there. Now the cupola itself isn't going to be yellow sticking out the top of that. It's going to be coloured along with it. That's lovely. It's looking really good. I'm really into this. Where did the little green mark come down? Just down the side of the mantlet, beside the cannon. Just there. Now, here's a tricky thing to understand, is that if you look at the side of my turret, it's a great example of how the modulation sets work. You can see that I've gone through at least 3 or 4 shades here, working right down to shadow at the bottom, working up to a highlighted edge at the top, and every shade in between. I really like that. It looks more like weathering the way that I've styled it. But if I was to paint just green straight over the top of that, you'd lose all of that wonderful shading in there. So I will try to do like little bits of highlights. So I'll get my modulation sets out. Where this dark green is, I'll try and do like a little gentle highlight across the top edge there. And I could even mix a little bit of brown or like really dark brown or black into this green, just to kind of re-emphasize the shadows at the bottom. Just to kind of just re-establish that modulation effect. I said modulation effect like I knew what I'm talking about. I don't know why they're called modulation sets. I don't know what this word modulation really means in this context. But, you know, you can apply a good guess, because it's all about having different shades, right? Just in case there were like some pros out there going like, Danny does not know what he's talking about. You're right. Sorry to say, but the Americans have for once got this pronunciation correct. It is pronounced Coop Lula. Call it what you want. You can see what defiant stance I'm taking on the subject is, can't you? You can see where I'm coming from. You can call it ladle if you like. What I'm trying to tell you is, for all of my life, I've called it capola. Therefore, on this show, I'm going to call it capola. Another cat hair. Get me to 200 subscribers and I'll show you the cat. Cats. Right, I know I don't necessarily need to paint the tracks that are mounted on the side of the turret here, because I'm going to paint them a colour that would make them look like tank tracks. But if there's little bits of detail around them that I might miss if I didn't do it, it'll stand out. Okay, that's the first green line sort of blocked in there. As they say in Germany, lush. Okay, we've got a little bit on the pack on the back here. I think by the end of the show I'm gonna have all the green blocked in and I will be a happy boy. That is looking pretty sexy, isn't it? Yeah, I like that. Copyright is fossilized dinosaur poo. There you go. I knew that one. I'm a big dinosaur fan. Oh no, it's corporalite. Even I got that wrong. Okay, cool. I don't know dinosaurs as well as I thought. Shh. Tomato, or is it tomato? Aluminium. They really struggle with that one. Yeah, I actually missed that whole section of the word. Don't forget how they struggle with Worcestershire for some reason. Yep. If you are American and you're watching the show, please do a little recording and get yourself to say that word. We can all say it. It's like a part of our English DNA. Worcester. Worcestershire. Worcestershire sauce. Love it. We really do have a very complicated language, don't we? Okay, I'm going to do some green. Here. airbrushing, like I was saying earlier, like these rings, irregular rings around a cannon is really difficult. So I will have to come in and like do a lot of it by hand. That's fine. Just trying to kind of get the pattern roughly on there, so I know where the green's going to be, and then I can come in and do whatever I want with brush later. Oops, went in a bit heavy there, didn't I? I'd really like to do a firefly in 1/35th, just to practice the wibbly white lines on the end. There we go. Red, green, red, red, green, red, green, red, green, red. Do I want to? I don't want to. See, if I did red on the end of the barrel, it will look like it's a safety barrel, like a kid's toy. So I'm just gonna just shoot from the hip and just do green on the end, like that. We are at the end of the show. If you've got anything you want to say, do, share, talk about, whatever, now's a good time to talk about it. Just while I neaten up all these green lines here. And then we'll close down for the night. Just hitting it with a bit of cold air, just to dry up those patchy areas. You can see that little glossy bit on the back there. This is literally paint drying right before your very eyes. There you go. A little less aggressive than a hairdryer. Oh, I did say I was going to do a little bit here, like I can see a little patch just there. A little bit of overspray just there, which has got a little bit fuzzy on the edge. One of those things that I'll have to neaten up with a brush later, but that's fine. And I've just used the end of the paint as well. Fantastic. A little bit of air. Okay, let's pop you there for a second. Pop you down there. Get rid of that. Bring in this guy. Here we go. Here's a moment to behold. It just looks so good. I'm so happy with myself. Ah. Colour is perfect. That is everything that I had in my head. Really, really happy with that. And I'm just playing around now, so this is just really good fun. Really, really good fun. I like the red from the modulation set, but I wouldn't be... I'm not so precious about it that I feel like I have to stick with it. So if I wanted to move away from that modulation set, find a red that's more in keeping with the tones that this green provides, I will quite happily do that. That is a sick looking model so far. Really happy with it. Really, really happy. Okay, I'm gonna come away from the workbench. Here we go. time to wrap up with a pint. Let's just catch up on some of the things that are being said here. Don't forget how they struggle with Worcestershire. Yep, we've already read that one out. You mean wash your sister sauce? Oh no. You can dig it all you like. I'm not saying it. When are we going to Bovington? Excellent thing to ask at this late hour in the show. Easy 8 and the community are going to the Bovington Tank Museum in Dorset. We are going this weekend. Originally we had planned to go on the Saturday. That is tomorrow. We have had a minor change of plans because we can get more people together on the Sunday. We actually have people coming from lots of different directions this time. So normally it has been going along to a lot of the shows recently, the same sort of crew, and that's great. That's brilliant. I love it, and it's a wonderful time, and I really appreciate it. But we actually have more people coming in from other areas as well. So really looking forward to meeting up and extending the Easy 8 family on a road trip to Bovington. What's so special about Bovington this week, or this weekend, is it's the Southwest Model Show. We've been there once before as an Easy 8 crew, and I'm really, really looking forward to going again. So we get to see the best of the whole attraction. So we're going to go and see lots of people making really cool models and painting models, and there's going to be a few traders there as well. That's really exciting. In and around the real tanks. So we're getting to see the creative things that people make and the stuff that they are making for real right beside it, and it's really fun seeing tanks of various sizes and then the actual thing there. So yeah, you can buy tickets on the door. They are £21 on the door, or £19 and some spare change, I think, if you buy them online. The last time we went, there was no one being turned away, so it's not like you get your tickets in now, because it's a big old place and they can get thousands of people in there. We had a great time. I'm going to be hobbling around on crutches probably, but we will be there as an Easy 8 team, and we're going to be there Sunday. Doors open at 10? 10? Dave and Stafford are they're gonna correct me now, because we were checking this out. Dave and I were checking this out on Wednesday, and I just have a memory like a sieve. Well, I'm human, and that's who I am. So yeah, we're going to Bovington Tank Museum, and it doesn't matter how far away you live. If you want to come and check it out at 9:30, there he is. Thanks, mate. If you want to come and check it out, come and meet us. I genuinely would love to meet you there. It'd be a great day. It's just got tanks, man. It's just going to be great fun. Jeff says, is it me, or does that green and yellow look real nice together? Thinking forget the red. Yeah, I like it. I like all three colours, but you're right, they did do just the green and yellow as well. I think that the red needs updating to bring it into the... I don't know how to describe it. The red was very powerful before I changed greens, and now it's not keeping up quite so much. The yellow is quite striking in its contrast, being very bright, and the camouflage colour is quite dark, and I like that. That red just seems to blend away a little bit, but I think that a little bit of pin washing and a world of weathering is going to do it a world of good. But yeah, the green is striking. I really like it. Dave says, tank's looking great. Thanks, mate. I'm really into this. I always enjoy painting, and I always enjoy being on the show painting, but it does, doing it here can take a little bit of it away, because you're kind of interacting in it, and it's not just a session where I sit down and do it myself. I'm kind of entertaining at the same time, and I love that. That's its own hobby. This is the first model I've done with the results I can see them coming along, where the colours are exactly what I had in my head. The vision is coming out over here exactly as I saw it, and that's really nice. So because of that, this is a model that I'm enjoying a little bit more than I normally would do on the show. It's just great to see it succeeding, and I'm only halfway through doing the greens. I've still got to neaten it all up and saturate the colour a little bit. So yeah, it's going to be fun. Really enjoying it. I'm having a great time, and having you guys along with me has just been superb as well. Thank you very much. Table of Horror says, I wish I could come to the after show, but I've got too much stuff to prep for VTM stream tonight. That's absolutely fine. You don't have to come over to Discord. I'm going to be there for a little while. If no one joins me, I've got guests over. I'm going to go and join in with those guys. If you guys want to come on over, I'm here for you. Friday evenings is all about painting models and talking to you guys. So if you want to join me at the Easy 8 after party on Discord, you can do. There's a link down there to do it. If you think you haven't got time tonight, but you want to get it set it up, go and do it now so that you can join in quicker next time. But all are welcome. It's a family show, but after the after party is a little bit more, not necessarily for your kids, so people can kind of let the potty mouth words out a little bit more, and you can bring your grown-up juice and just let it flow, you know. I hate painting cockpits. Yeah, they're not the easiest thing to paint, are they? Guys, I've had a absolutely I've said guys again. What is happening to me? Doing all the things that I don't want to do. People of the Easy Gauge community, I've had an absolutely fantastic evening after a somewhat troublesome week. It's not been the most terrible week, I've just hurt myself, but it's been really nice to end on a high, and I'm really looking forward to meeting you guys all on this weekend, and I will be back next week. So yeah, it's going to be great. Please don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and all the other usual stuff. There's a subscribe banner for you. Please do subscribe. I say it all the time, as every YouTuber does, but it really does make a really big difference. The more you subscribe, the more I get out there, and the bigger the Easy 8 community becomes, and that's just going to be beneficial for everybody. I absolutely love doing the show. I want more people to come and join in live or watching the replay like John does. Hi John, I'm so sorry that we've been so harsh against the American language today. You know it's all just for fun. I love you, dude. Please don't be cross or sad or angry, but please fire some shots back. Let's start a diss track. Let's do that. I don't know what I've just said there. Okay, cool. Right, I'm going to go now before I say anything else that might get me into trouble. Have a wonderful evening. Thank you very much for coming along. I'll see you guys next week. If I don't see you on the weekend, I'm going to head on over to Discord now to see who's hanging around over there. Until next week, be safe, be kind, keep on painting, and I'll see you soon. Take care now. Bye-bye. Finally, it's worked. I've done something that I can be proud of. I love it. My foot hurts.